Hey guys, welcome to Friday. What an excellent week of hard work we've had so far. This is Friday for all of Stage 1 Mathematics. Now, the reason why it's for all of Stage 1 is because we're all going to work on this together. Now, our learning intention is I am learning to measure area in uniform informal units using squares. Last week we experimented and tried to find the area of shapes, particularly squares, using triangles, rhombuses, circles. What else do we try and use? Rectangles. Now, we found out the best way to find area of a 2D shape, a 2D square, is with squares. Squares match up with each other. They tessellate, they have the right orientation. They leave no gaps. That's what we were looking for last week. If I was finding the area of a square, for instance, and I had circles, look at all this gap here. Look at these gaps that we're finding, guys. We couldn't find the exact area of a shape using squares, which is our informal unit of measurement, because they would leave gaps, whereas squares connect perfectly next to each other. And when we turn it on its side, it can still be the same shape. Now, we've found squares are the best way to find the area. We're at home at the moment. I would like you to, this week, find different areas of different 2D flat surfaces, like squares and rectangles, around your house. An easy way, or not so much an easy way, a fun way to do this is by colouring in a piece of paper or using a coloured piece of cardboard and cutting out little squares. Now, I don't want you cutting out squares this big because you would need thousands and thousands of them. I would like you to cut out two size squares. Try and cut out one small, but roughly that size, and one large. I would like you to go around your house, for example, a tissue box. I would like you to fill that tissue box, just the side of it, the 2D shape, so the square or the rectangle side, and put it on its side and put squares along it. However many squares you fit onto that one side equals its area. But I would like you to do it twice. So, a tissue box equals, this is just an example, yours might be more or less, 18 small squares and 9 large. And 9 large squares. The reason why I want you to do this is for you to understand that area can change when we're using informal units depending on the size of the unit we're measuring with. So if the square is larger than someone else's, we could measure the same tissue box, except if I cut my squares bigger, I'm going to have a smaller area. That's why I would like you to specify whether you used a small square or a large square. Also, if you only have one piece of paper, for instance, and you cut out one square, you can always put your square on here, on the tissue box, and put a little dot. And then take that square and move it next to it. So you're moving the same square all around the tissue box, as that will save you time from cutting. So you could cut out a few squares if you would like, or you can use the one square and create a measure by just moving the square over and putting a little dot where you need to line it up with. Okay, so we're learning to measure different objects around our house using squares. We've learned that squares are the best informal unit of finding the area of a 2D shape. Now we are going to measure different objects around our room. I would really like it if you set it out like this. Tell me what you measured, tell me how many squares, how many small squares and how many large squares. Okay? Also, if you find yourself not having as much paper to cut out the squares with, just cut out one and move it across the object. And then make sure you put a little mark where you need to line it up with to see if you get an accurate reading. Also, try both ways. Try moving a square around just using one and then fill the square with all your little cutouts. See how close you were. Guys, it has been fantastic. Let's work on achieving the learning intention. I am learning to measure area in informal units using squares from around your house. Okay? It's a bit of fun, it's a bit of hands-on. Measure your TV. See how big your TV is, but make sure you put the unit of measurement, whether you use small squares or large squares. I don't want to see you just write 18. 18 what? 18 toothpicks, 18 tissues, 18 soccer balls, 18 balloons. I need you to tell me what you measured with. So 18 small squares. Guys, you've been working really hard. Keep it up. This is for all of stage 1 on Friday. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. See you guys.